Fans paid to attend World Cup by Qatar have daily allowance cancelled. Did they get the folks who organized Firefest to plan out this year's World Cup? The executive director of Football Supporters Europe, Ronan Avane, said who would have thought that an authoritarian regime with an appalling workers' rights record was not to be trusted? Lol. Who could have possibly foreseen that things would go poorly there? Well, this is shaping up nicely. For the first time in a long time I'll be following the World Cup. No. Not the football games. The inevitable riots. This is going to make Fire Festival look like a holiday camp. Fans will be required to turn in passport on arrival to Qatar and participate in obligatory manual labor before their passports are returned. They'll be lucky not to have their passports snatched and be forced into slavery there. I can't wait for the Qatar World Cup train wreck videos lol. Man, this World Cup has turned into a publicity nightmare for Qatar. Prior to the announcement that they'd be hosting, some folks but not many knew about the situation with immigrant labor. Now, everybody knows Qatar is a corrupt and shamelessly deceitful modern-day slave state. I dare say that the damage they've done to the image of modern Mashriq is right up there with Al-Qaeda shenanigans. Qatar's a fucking joke of a country. Between this and the beer I guess we can now call a promise one does not intend to keep a Qatari promise. People don't get it. This is all a show of power and control. They don't care much at all about catching someone for drinking beer. It's all about showing the world and their countrymen and fellow Arab countries that they are calling the shots. I for one am absolutely shocked that the government of Qatar has not honored their word. People get in bed with trash and then are surprised when they get thrown out with the trash. Isn't Qatar just slowly making sure the whole world knows they are basically a large organized criminal operation? Like the Jersey of the world. Our leopard Saddamy face. If they're willing to steal immigrants' passports and force them into slavery, who's to say that they won't try and snag a few fans too? The beatings will continue until morale improves. In return for enthusiasm and positive social media content. Sorry for your lying on the internet for liars. They should leave while they still can. Everyone here seems to know about how corrupt FIFA is and how shitty Qatar is. So the people that bought trips to the WC either knew and went anyway or are stupid. Either way, they got what they should have. Are you saying after building the stadiums using slave work now they have international slave fans? Concerns will now rise that further commitments made by the organizers could yet be ignored too, including the safety of LGBTQ fans in a country where homosexuality is illegal. No shit? Damn, now we are going to have to buy our own beer. Oh wait. It's almost like Qatar is not to be trusted. This entire event has been a complete disaster. I am actually worried for the safety of players, management, staff, and supporters. News people have been harassed. They keep changing the laws and rules and I wouldn't be surprised if they ban alcohol day of and arrest everyone there involved in alcohol. It should have been boycotted. Shithole medieval country paid tens of billions to show the world what a shithole medieval country they are for a sport they don't care about. We need to stop legitimizing these places. It's weird to me that a country this joyless would enjoy sports. If I were FIFA and I was into accepting bribes from authoritarian regimes I would simply pick one that doesn't force soccer fans to be A, be sober and B, not dress like soccer fans. Bring on the streakers. I'm not sure what their goal is here. The one thing more violent than a drunk English soccer fan, is an English soccer fan forced to watch the game sober. What a shit crazy horrible country lol. And the shitstorm continues. This is rapidly turning into the sports equivalent of the Fire Festival. Is it okay to call this one a shithole country? I don't care how much you like soccer. There is no way anybody should be going to this place. You're only going to need a few heavy-handed confrontations with fans. The heat. No beer alcohol. Shit accommodation. Shit has the potential to blow up real quick. Just cancel the World Cup already. What a shit show. How many attendees are going to have their documentation confiscated? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Our World Cup catastrophe. I can't believe how much of a clusterfuck this World Cup has become. And all because they chose to have it in a screwed up Muslim theocracy that has no civil rights, no women's rights, and forces their population to live under strict Muslim law. The FIFA people who made this decision should be fired. This is basically turning into a Firefest version of a FIFA World Cup, smiley face. They said the money was for refreshments during their stay. So they'll just cancel alcohol, then there's no need for the extra money, smiley face. Indentured servitude had a sudden spike for some reason. This year going to be such a shit show. I can't wait for the next few weeks. The weirdest thing about this is that the fans Qatar is paying to promote the World Championship don't have a social media presence. The ones I could find two for my country, out of the 50 that are being paid, have brand new Instagram profiles with not that many followers. I wish I could say it's so bad that it's funny, but it's really just sad. You know what? I would react extremely kindly right now to any big corporations that cancel their sponsorship of this farce. TV stations canceling coverage too. I would respect that a lot. The whole situation is pretty sick. How the hell did this country get the World Cup? As a non-soccer fan spectator, this stuff has been fucking amazing. Keep it coming. This World Cup is I am altering the deal, pray I don't alter it any further, imposed in real life and real time. Crazy people are fickle though. Once the football actually starts, the world will forget about much of this stuff and get sucked into the competition and will start watching like crazy. I bet they will have lots of fans flying in to watch the quarters, semi-finals and final. Everything about this article reminds me that they are a backwards, third world in attitudes, totalitarian shithole. They're holding everyone who shows up hostage to their idiotic religious not cultural norms. This is disgusting. Controlling information and stamping out dissent shouldn't still exist. Wow, it's just one thing after another. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, what a joke of a country SMH. So they hired a bunch of influencers to post good coverage, fucked them out of promised money, and now, they're still hoping for good coverage? Doesn't seem likely. Oh please let this shit show get worse, growing heart, fuck Qatar and their backwards ass country. Safe to say this did not accomplish Qatar's goal of raising their national profile and attracting international tourism and business interest. While you gotta give it to Qatar, they are very consistent in not paying their slaves. Workers. Vape, it's time to rain some sweet justice and freedom on Qatar. Full disclosure, I am a lobbyist for Budweiser. I wouldn't step foot in a theocracy for $1 million a day. Third world country with shit customs. Nobody should travel to these hellholes regardless. Are we talking daily beer and grog allowance Royal Navy style? Thanks, Sep. Fuck Qatar and the World Cup. My takeaway from this is that the Qatari agency responsible for the World Cup is called the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy. Is there direct flights from the US to Qatar? Because there shouldn't be. Maybe boycott the airlines getting passengers there in the first place. With every story that comes out about this, I find it strange that a professional sports league is dealing with this ridiculous country at all. This is gonna be the best internet historian video. These assholes can keep their word on anything. Budweiser is also the main sponsor and they just pulled all beer sales. This was and is an unfolding disaster. I think their objective of boosting Qatar's reputation is backfiring. FIFA officials could probably give two shits, they already got their cuts. So they good dog. Qatar did this World Cup for what exactly? The worst press in the world? This is turning out to be as good as Twitter. I'm glad anyone attending this is having a shitty time. You know that saying about if there's a Nazi at the table and 10 other people sitting there talking to him, you got a table with 11 Nazis? Basically the same thing here. If you bought tickets to this, you're supporting a horrible organization. You don't deserve a good time. So, Qatar's gonna win it all on egregious calls. You heard it here first. Qatar, this isn't going well for a plan to spend over $200 billion to look good on the global stage. Just so you know. First they promise alcohol, then they take it away, now they this. Shifty fucking bastards. Expect nothing less from these regimes. I can't believe how many PPL are so invested in soccer. I can't imagine traveling to a place like this on a hope and a prayer without understanding my accommodations or what to expect. I predict a mass casualty event. Fresh slaves for Qatar, and if you're an alcoholic, you get to sober up for free, real quick. Win-win. It's already turning out to be a shit show, and it hasn't even started yet. Altering the terms of the deal, I see. So when are they canceling the whole thing? At this point I wouldn't expect Qatar to honor any single clause at all in any of the World Cup contracts. I'm turning on notifications for our public freakout, embarrassed smiley face. Fucking Qatar. This World Cup is hella stupid. Sounds like the Qatari people are as big liars as the Russians. International football has a FIFA problem. What a shit show. Sounds like it's all falling apart. Great job, selection committee.